Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Gopi Jana Vanama Girivaridhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vanama Girivaridhari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari
Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
He died. Krishna is the lover of Radha. He displays many amorous pastimes in the groves of Vrindavan. He is the lover of the cowherd maidens of Raj, the holder of the great hill named Govardhan, the beloved son of Mother Yasoda, and the delighter of the inhabitants of Raj. He wanders in the forest along the banks of the river Jamuna.
What do you got on top of your head there? What's that? Oh, I see. It's okay.
I was wondering what's that too.
It's like, elastic thing to hold this thing.
That might be a bug.
It looked like a
It's
big
bug.
wasp. It looked like a wasp.
It's bug season.
Yeah.
It is.
We're all bugged.
Please repeat. Narayana Namaskritya
Narayana Namaskritya
Ram Chaiva Narottamam
Narayana Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tachodayam Udiraya.
Bodhayamudiriya.
Please repeat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam,
Before we start the Srimad Bhagavatam,
which is the very means of conquest,
which is the very means of conquest,
one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan.
unto the personality of God, Lord Narayan,
Unto Narayan Rishi,
unto Narayan Rishi,
the supremest human
the
being.
supremmost human being,
Unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning.
unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning,
And unto Shri Vyasadeva, the author.
and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author.
Srimvatam Svakata Krishna
Srimad-Svakata Krishna
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Divyanta Stoya Bhadrani
Yanta Bhadrani
Vehunati Saritsakam.
Yonitam Jiritam.
Please repeat. Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead,
Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead,
who is the Paramatma super soul
who is the Paramatma super soul
in everyone's heart,
in everyone's heart,
and the benefactor of the truthful devotee,
the benefactor of the truthful devotee,
cleanses desire from material enjoyment
cleanses the desire for material enjoyment
from the heart of the devotee,
from the heart of the devotee,
who has has developed the urge to hear his messages,
who has developed an urge to hear his messages,
which are in themselves virtuous,
which are in themselves virtuous,
and properly heard and chanted.
properly heard and chanted.
Nasta Preshu Badreshu
Namaskaresu Bhagaveshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavatu Dhamma Sloke
Bhagavato Dhammashloke
Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhakti Bhavati Naistaki.
By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam,
By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam,
and by the rendering of service to the pure devotee,
By rendering service to the pure devotee,
all that is troublesome to the heart
all that is troublesome to the heart
is almost completely destroyed,
is almost completely destroyed,
and loving service unto the personality of Godhead,
and loving service unto the personality of Godhead,
who is praised with transcendental song,
who is praised with transcendental song,
is established as an irrevocable fact.
is established as an irrevocable fact.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 now the challenge.
Oh, there's no windows. Oh yeah, there are some windows open.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the word for word, is that first word divided into more than one?
In the word for word?
Nice.
Yes, it's vitamin 2.
Why don't you do it like that?
Do it like that? Okay,
It
okay.
looks bad, but it's not that bad. He can do it.
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Please repeat. Adyarhaniya.
Adharaniya.
Adharhaniya.
Adharaniya.
It's better to say the whole thing.
Yeah, now we can do the whole thing. We got that part.
Like that, you know. It just goes with the flow, it's easier.
Adyarhaniya sanam asitam param.
Adharaniya sanamastitam param.
Vritam.
Vitam.
Chatur.
Chatur.
Sodasha.
Sodasha.
Pancha.
Pancha.
Shakti bihi.
Shakti-vihi.
Vritam chatur sodasa pancha shakti bihi.
Vitam chatu sodasa pancha shakti-vihi.
Oh, does it look like an R on the end?
No, it's an H.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So make sure it would look like. Vritam chatur sodasa pancha shakti bihi.
Vritam chatu sodasa pancha shakti-vihi.
Yuktam
Yuktam
bagai
Bagai
svar
Swar
swar itaratra
Itarata
chadruvai
Chaturvai
yuktam bagai svar itaratra chadruvai
Yuktam Bhagai Swaditara Chaturvai
sva
Sva
eva
Eva
ramam
Dhamam
ramamanam
Ramamanam
ishvaram
Ishvaram
sva eva dhammam ramamanam ishvaram
Swaeva Dhamam Ramanam Ishvaram.
Anybody want to try it?
Avyahaniya Shanam Astitam Param. Vritam Chatu Sodasa Pancha Shakti-vi. Yuktam Bhagai Swadhitarata Chadruvai. Sativa Dhammam Ramanam Ishvaram. Swaeva Dhammam Ramanam Ishvaram. Ajahanyasanam astitam param.
Ritam chatu sodasa pancha saktivir.
Ritam chatu sodasa pancha saktivir.
Yuktam bagay swai taratra chaturvai.
Yuktam bagay swaditam chaturvai. Saeva damam ramanam visvaram.
Ajahanyasanam astitam param.
Ajahanyasanam astitam param.
Ritam chatu sodasa pancha saktivir.
Ritam chatu sodasa pancha saktivir.
Yuktam bagay swar ataratra chadurvai.
Yuktam bagay swaditam chaturvai.
Saeva daman ramanam isvaram.
Swaeva damam ramanam visvaram.
Abhiyarhanyasanam astitam param.
Ajahanyasanam astitam param.
Ritam chatu sodasa pancham sakribihi.
Ritam chatu sodasa pancha saktivir.
Yuktam bagat swavir itarata chaturvai.
Yuktam bagay swaditam chaturvai.
Swaeva damam ramanam isvaram.
Saeva damam ramanam visvaram.
Please repeat.
Please repeat.
Please repeat, okay.
Adyarhaniya,
Ajahanaya,
greatly worshipable.
greatly worshipable.
Asanam,
Ashanam,
throne.
throne.
Asitam,
Asitam,
seated on it.
seated on.
Param,
Param,
the supreme.
The supreme.
Vitam,
Vitam,
surrounded by.
surrounded by.
Chatu,
Chatu,
four.
four.
Namely, I guess this is a little confusing, as it's all connected. Chatu, four. Namely, Prakriti,
Namely Prakriti,
Purusha,
Purusha,
Mahat,
Mahat,
and Ego.
and Ego.
That's all connected there. Sodasha, the 16.
16.
Pancha,
Pancha,
the 5.
the five.
Shakti Bihi,
Shakti,
by the energies.
By the energies.
Yuktam,
Yuktam,
empowered with.
empowered with.
Bagai,
Bagai,
his opulences.
his opulences.
Svai,
Svai,
personal.
personal.
Atarata,
Itarata,
Itaratra,
Itarata,
other.
other.
Let me go to the next page. Other minor
Other minor.
prowesses.
Paralysis.
Other minor prowesses. I don't know what that is. Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Aruvai,
Arubai,
temporary.
temporary.
Sve,
Sway,
om.
om.
Eva,
Eva,
certainly.
certainly,
Daman,
Daman,
above.
above.
Ramamanam,
Rama,
enjoying.
enjoying.
Ishvaram,
Ishvaram,
the Supreme Lord.
the Supreme Lord.
Translation, please repeat. The Lord was seated on his throne
The Lord was seated on his throne
and was surrounded by different energies,
and was surrounded by different energies,
like the 4,
like the 4,
the 16,
the 16,
the 5,
the 5,
and the 6 natural
and the
opulences,
6 natural opulences,
along with other insignificant energies
along with other insignificant energies
of the temporary character.
of the temporary character.
But he was the factual Supreme Lord,
But he was the factual Supreme Lord,
enjoying his own abode.
enjoying his own abode.
I read the translation again. The Lord was seated on his throne and was surrounded by different energies, like the 4, the 16, the 5, and the 6 natural opulences, along with other insignificant energies of the temporary character. But he was the factual Supreme Lord, enjoying his own abode. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord is naturally endowed with his 6 opulences. Specifically, he is the richest, he is the most powerful, he is the most famous, he is the most beautiful, he is the greatest in knowledge, and he is the greatest renouncer as well. And for his material creative energies, he is served by 4, namely the principles of Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and Ego. He is also served by the 16, namely the 5 elements, earth, water, air, fire, and sky, and the 5 perceptive sense organs, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and skin, and the 5 working sense organs, the hand, the leg, the stomach, the evacuation outlet, and the genitals, and the mind. The 5 includes the sense objects, namely form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. All these 25 items serve the Lord in the material creation, and all of them are personally present to serve the Lord. The insignificant opulences, numbering 8, the Asta cities, attained by yogis for temporary overlordship, are also under his control. But he is naturally full with all such powers without any effort, and therefore he is the Supreme Lord. The living being, anybody have any question about that so far? The living being, by severe penance and performance of bodily exercises, can temporarily attain some wonderful power, but that does not make him the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, by his own potency, is unlimitedly more powerful than any yogi. He is unlimitedly more learned than any jnani. He is unlimitedly richer than any wealthy person. He is unlimitedly more beautiful than any beautiful living being. And he is unlimitedly more charitable than any philanthropist. I'm glad it's right here because for all these years I've always been telling people that about the 6 opulences, and I always said he's unlimited. That's unlimited in all 6 categories. It's unlimited, you know. And there it is. So I must have read it here, so it's just nice to see it. It's okay to say unlimitedly, you know. He is above all. No one is equal to or greater than him, nor can anyone reach his level of perfection in any of the above powers by any amount of penance or yogi demonstrations. The yogis are dependent on his mercy. Out of his immensely charitable disposition, he can award some temporary powers to the yogis because the yogis hankering after them, but to his unalloyed devotees, who do not want anything from the Lord, save and accept his transcendental service, the Lord is so pleased that he gives himself in exchange for unalloyed service. You know, the souls, it seems to be that we're the Lord's children, you know, and we're all around the Father, you know, and there's unlimited children. And there's an, I want daddy, I want daddy. We're all just want. God, of course, can bestow all of our wants, desires. But I was thinking about that just the other day. I was thinking, that's just like children. And everywhere you see children, in Walmart or anywhere, the parents are there too. And they're always, you know, nagging the parents for this, that. And if you ever work in a toy store, which I have, you see how dramatic it can be. Because they'd be leaving the store and the kids are kicking and screaming and crying, and, you know, because they didn't get what they wanted. You know what I mean? And that store is all about kids and everything that they want. So you better get something for them. Don't ever leave that toy store without it. Seriously. They scream bloody murder.
Just don't take them there. I never did.
It's true, yeah. But the Lord, now, one thing nice about the purport, Prabhupada says in that first paragraph, the insignificant opulences numbering 8, the Asta cities, attained by yogis for temporary overlordship, in parentheses, the Asta cities, attained by yogis for temporary overlordship. It's nice to see it right there in writing that really that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? That's at the base of their desires, obviously, because probably says it right there. The insignificant opulences, number 8, the Asta cities attained by yogis for temporary overlordship, are also under his control, but he is naturally full with all such powers without any effort, and therefore he is the Supreme Lord. So, a lot of these yogis, what they'll do is they want to be worshipped, they want to be honored, they want sense gratification, they want so many things, And Prabhupada had to wade through all the cheating gurus when he came to America. Most gurus are cheating gurus, unfortunately. It's not easy to control the senses, But as long as we have Krishna and we have the process of Bhakti Yoga and the guidance of the Guru, then he was totally expert, in helping us to understand just how flimsy material enjoyment really is, Now, we could hanker for these opulences, and we are yogis, no doubt about it. We're all yogis here. We really are. We're all yogis here. Wow. I'm sorry?
Not me. I'll be on.
That even proves you're a very advanced yogi. Very humble, Mataji. Yeah. So, yeah, we're yogis. Yoga means to link with the Supreme by controlling the ever-disturbing senses, which includes the mind, which is a big rascal. That monkey probably says it's like a wild monkey jumping from branch to branch. You know what I mean? And if you've ever seen monkeys in zoos, you know how unpredictable they are in public. Anything they're allowed to do right there in public, Unbelievable. Yeah, rascals. And, the monkey may be renounced and living in the jungle and eating very simply, mostly vegetarian probably. And, but he has many wives, So that's like the Babajis Prabhupada warned the ladies about in Vrindavan, So we don't want to be cheaters. We don't want to cheat our Guru because we love our Guru. And it's not a false love. It's not a fake love. It's absolutely genuine. And if we really had a pure desire to serve our Gurudev, we'd be even closer to ecstasy, We don't strive for ecstasy, but it's a byproduct of devotional service, We actually want to be happy, but we want to be more than happy. We want to be blissful. No, we want to be more than blissful. We want to be ecstatic every moment, Prabhupada says, from moment to moment to moment. In Bhagavad Gita, he says like that. So it's just nice to see that right here, Prabhupada says that the insignificant opulences, numbering 8, the Asta cities, attained by yogis for temporary overlordship. It's right there. Are also under his control. And he is naturally full with all such powers, without any effort, and therefore he is the Supreme Lord. See, Prabhupada, he goes right through that. He doesn't focus on it. He doesn't find fault with people, but he just states it as it is. And we take it as it is, and we go along, because Prabhupada was not interested in finding faults with anybody. He's a pure devotee of God. And he wants to see the best in everybody. As he told one devotee, this devotee is complaining. 3 different times this devotee had complained. And Prabhupada says, what do you want from them? They're trying to serve Krishna. They're trying to serve Krishna. And this other Maharaji one time said, there's Maya in this temple. And Prabhupada said, if you know a place where there is not Maya, let us go there immediately. You know, yeah. So he'd say, well, tell me about it. He didn't focus on the negative energy. He tried to divert that. Whenever anybody would say anything bad about a devotee, he wouldn't focus on that. He would try to say yes, but he's done so much good service like that, you know. It's hard in this age to focus on the positive. We are right in the middle of Kali Yuga. It's very easy to, ever since, I don't know when it started, but I can tell you, when they came out with CNN news like 24 hours a day, that seemed to be, to me, a very beginning of a lot of negative energy that just continues up to now. People are completely enraptured in, you know, they think they're trying to control things through the, you know, what they think. And now they're online, and everybody's got opinions, and everybody's fighting everybody. You know, everybody's arguing. This age of quarrel and hypocrisy, it's very real. It's very real. And I try to avoid it. What's that? How dare you disagree with me?
No,
yeah. But if we can just pull ourselves out of the modes, you know what I mean? The karmis, they don't even know what the modes are. But if we can stay aloof from those modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, and if we can rise to it by the grace of our spiritual master and the Shastras to the transcendental stage, then we can transcend all of these things that bring us down. Because Prabhupada says that anger in just an instant contaminates the entire consciousness. Just an instant, you know. And I've always heard that a negative thought is 6 times more powerful than a positive. That's what I used to hear when I was a long time ago. But I'd like to read a little bit here about Krishna. This is from the 4th canto. And this is text number 44. And I believe it's Lord Shiva speaking. Yeah. Yeah, Lord Shiva. My dear Lord, I wish to see you exactly in the form that your very dear devotees worship. You have many other forms, but I wish to see your form that is especially liked by the devotees. Please be merciful upon me and show me that form, for only that form, worshipped by the devotees, can perfectly satisfy all the demands of the senses. Confirmation. The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As the rainfall glistens, his bodily features also glisten. Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has 4 arms and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful, highly raised nose, a mind-attracting smile, a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. The Lord is super excellently beautiful. I was curious, have you ever heard anything, Prabhu say anything about, you know, putting remnants, flower remnants, like in the ears like that?
I've seen people do.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention that. I was just looking at a picture of Krishna and the cowherd boys eating, and one of the cowherd boys has a flower garland around his ear.
Yeah. I've never heard anything bad about it. I just wondered if you'd heard anything about it. Because, have we ever seen Prabhupada with like a flower in his ear? I don't think. I don't remember.
I've seen his disciples, you know, like
Yeah.
especially that one video where you see the devotees are first time they're in Gujarat, and you know they're completely covered with flower garlands, and some of them have flowers behind their ears and like that. And I remember devotees doing that, but I don't see it so much anymore.
Yeah.
But then again, you know.
I don't know why. The last time I was going to try it here, I thought twice and I didn't do it. Because I don't see other people doing it.
But people, I don't think there's anything.
Yeah.
No, there's no, unless there's some
That's called revealing one's mind to other
Yeah,
devotees.
yeah, but maybe it's
Common in Hawaii.
considered, if they do it in Hawaii,
Common in Hawaii.
yeah, well, then it's no good, because Hawaii is, everybody knows they're wrong. No, I'm kidding. It's okay.
Did you say it's prominent in Hawaii?
She said,
Common.
Common.
come, yeah. So I think devotees, why not, especially, it's offered to the Lord, you put it in.
Well, you're talking about the karmis is very common too, right? Not just the devotees.
Common with the devotees.
I can't tell who's speaking because of the...
Common with the devotees.
Okay,
With the devotees.
with the devotees, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think I've even seen Hawaiian, like women that do the dance, they'll have, seems like they have flowers in their hands.
Yeah, they do. That's true. The longer the stem, the more secure it is. I know that. Because here it says, the Lord is super excellently beautiful on account of his open and merciful smile and his sidelong glance upon his devotees. His black hair is curly, and his garments, waving in the wind, appear like flying saffron pollen from lotus flowers. His glittering earrings, shining helmet, bangles, garland, ankle bells, waist belt, and various other bodily ornaments combined with conch shell disc, club, and lotus flower to increase the natural beauty of the Kastaba pearl on his chest. Yeah, that last verse, it says, the Lord has 4 arms and an exquisitely beautiful face, with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful highly raised nose, a mind-attracting smile, a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. So I was curious.
Well, I've even seen some, not just like Hindu women, but seeing devotee women sometimes get like things they put on their ears. It's like jewelry. Have you ever seen that? Not just earrings. It fits on the ear. So one woman in Toronto wearing that.
That makes sense because the karmis are always puncturing a whole bunch of holes in their ears.
This wasn't like that. This
Yeah.
is something that fits on the ear.
Yeah.
It looked a little over the top.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they wear that in South India a whole lot. And that originated from that.
Oh.
Flowers, the South Indian Brahmins, if you really look, they have this little thing and they put there and then they put it by their ears. The flowers actually, with the guys, come from South India.
So that's really common.
Yes, very common.
The Lord has shoulders just like a lion's. Upon these shoulders are garlands, necklaces, and epaulets. Am I saying that right? Epaulets?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've heard this word before. What exactly is an epaulet?
I think it's something that you wear around your arm or something like that.
Amulet?
An epaulet. Yeah. EPAULETS. Yeah, I can look it up sometime too. And all of these are always glittering. Besides these, there is the beauty of the Kastaba. Oh, wait a minute. Kastabamani.
This one, right up. So it's up here.
Here it's called.
That one is up here. Amulet is here.
Yeah.
That the one you said.
That's
is
what's
up
called-
Epaulets is on the shoulder, right?
It's up here. Yeah. They wear like Krishna.
Like, an admiral.
That's what's that.
Yeah, that's what.
On the shoulder. Like, the admirals have these.
What's it called?
Epaulet.
Epaulets right here?
Right here.
Okay.
Amulets are right here.
And armlets?
And
Armlets?
that'll work for that. Amulets? That's what it says.
Now here's the interesting part here. Besides these, there's the beauty of the Kastabamani pearl. They call it the Kastabamani pearl. Or usually just call it Kastaba. Yeah. How about that? And on the dark chest of the Lord, there are streaks of named Srivatsa, which are signs of the goddess of fortune.
That's what we're talking
We
about.
talked about a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the purport, Prabhu explains that it's similar. The gold testing stone is black.
Yeah.
Silica. And you take something, you think it's gold, you rub it, and if it comes off and you see gold streaks, that means it's gold. So on his here, and that's how you tell the difference between when you're in Vaikuntha and everybody has the same form. Look for the gold streaks. If they don't have the gold streaks, then they're not Vishnu. They're, just an ordinary.
I would just be glad to be there,
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
The glittering of these streaks excels the beauty of the golden streaks
On a gold testing stone.
on a gold testing stone. Indeed, such beauty defeats a gold testing stone.
I used to read that every morning.
You want me to read that short purport on that or not?
No, that's okay.
Okay. Translation. The Lord's abdomen is beautiful due to 3 ripples in the flesh. Being so round, his abdomen resembles the leaf of a banyan tree. And when he exhales and inhales, the movement of the ripples appears very, very beautiful. The coils within the navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe sprouted out of it and yet again wishes to go back. Whew. I couldn't believe that. I mean, we all wish to go back to Krishna, The lower part of the Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments, and a belt bedecked with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet and the calves, thighs, and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. My dear Lord, your 2 lotus feet are so beautiful that they appear like 2 blossoming petals of the lotus flower, which grows during the autumn season. Indeed, the nails of your lotus feet emanate such a great effulgence that they immediately dissipate all the darkness in the heart of a conditioned soul.
Wow.
Whew. Wow. My dear Lord, kindly show me that form of yours which always dissipates all kinds of darkness in the heart of a devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered with the darkness of ignorance can be enlightened by you as the spiritual master. Is there an app where you can actually look up something that you have a hint about for the database and stuff like that,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't even know how smart.
You just do a Google search, do whatever your hint.
Google.
Do database and then whatever your hint is.
Yep.
Whatever you're
Yeah.
hinting at.
Right.
Do a Google search.
Start with database,
Yeah.
and then thank you very much. Well, what I in the Chaitanya Charter meet, it's been a few years now, but it said in there that there's 15 types of devotees. And what I wanted to go back and research was, I wanted to find out, because I thought it said that this materialistic devotee,
Yeah.
I thought that's what one of them said, and I wanted to find out what the other ones were indicating, you know what I mean? Like qualities, like Paramahamsa, all the way to materialistic devotees. I'm just wondering how that works,
The
But
Prabhu
it's-
basically just taught us about the 3rd class, 2nd class, 1st class.
Yeah, Prabhupada always kept it very simple. He didn't do much Krishna Lila in his lectures. It was always, you're not this body, you know what I mean? Very beautiful and scientific. Of course, just being in Prabhupada's presence was purifying, My dear Lord, kindly show me that form of yours which always dissipates all kinds of darkness in the heart of a devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered with the darkness of ignorance can be enlightened by you as the spiritual master. My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in meditation upon your lotus feet, as described above, Those who are serious about executing their occupational duties and who want freedom from fear must take to this process of bhakti yoga. Freedom from anxiety, freedom from fear, all these things that we just don't like. My dear Lord, the King in charge of the heavenly kingdom is also desirous of obtaining the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. Similarly, you are the ultimate destination of those who identify themselves with you. Aham Brahmasmi. However, it is very difficult for them to attain you, whereas a devotee can easily attain your lordship. My dear Lord, your pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge. But devotional service alone can satisfy you. My dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge, but devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other processes of self-realization if he is actually serious about the perfection of life? So, what's the question of a glorious victory without a difficult struggle? I think Prabhupada said that. What's the question of a glorious victory without a difficult struggle? I have to go back. It's in my notes. Simply by expansion of his eyebrows, invincible time personified can immediately vanquish the entire universe. However, formidable time does not approach the devotee who has taken complete shelter at your lotus feet. Simply by expansion of your eyebrows, invincible time personified can immediately vanquish the entire universe. However, formidable time does not approach the devotee who has taken complete shelter at your lotus feet.
Can I just mention one thing about going back to these mystic powers? So, there's a story Prabhupada tells how it was common in this village that some of the young men would go off into the Himalayas and go and live in the caves with the yogis who were performing severe austerities and penances to attain these mystic powers, such as being as light as a feather, walk on water, things like that, becoming smaller than the smallest. So this one young boy went off. He was gone for many, many years, and he comes back, and everyone in the village is so happy to see him. So tell us, what have you achieved? He says, well, after many years of hard austerity, of difficult studying under the masters, I can walk on water. And one old man says, really? That's what you can do? And then he goes, for 2 rupees I can do the same thing. He goes down to the river, pays the boatman 2 rupees, gets on the boat, says, look, I'm walking on water. So 2 rupees. But also Prabhupada said that his father actually had some, mystic yogis that would come visit. He said that there was one where he just touched his cloth, and you would immediately be transported 1,000 miles away. And also one of his sisters had a guru who was a mystic yogi. And one morning for breakfast, the guru said, what would you like for breakfast? And they said, oh, pomegranate. And within an instant, there was a huge branch of the biggest pomegranates they'd ever seen sitting in the corner of the room. He had reached out and brought it. So when you see something like that, you think, oh my goodness. But it's not going to bring you to Vaikuntha. It's just going to get you some pomegranate.
But it would fill this room up with it would fill this room up with people and overflow. Yeah. Thousands would come to see something like that.
Oh yeah.
No doubt about it.
Oh, he's walking on water. Oh, look, you can grab and we can go here. But you're not going to get out into your world. You're going to still stay here. You're not going.
Go ahead.
Right, and if you want pomegranates in season, you just go down to Walmart, pick it up. You know.
Reminds me of a lecture I heard Srila Prabhupada the other day. If a man barks like a dog, thousands will come to see this man barking like a dog. because he has managed to borrow. So,
We were talking about that in the picture. Well, the famous one is Sai Baba. I mean, he really can create just about anything.
Everywhere you go, it's
Yeah,
Sai Baba,
Sai
Sai
Baba.
Baba, Sai
He
Baba.
would like take some ashes,
Yeah, the
turn
actual
it into
just
little
flow.
pieces of gold. And then Prabhupada said, well, Krishna's created huge mines of gold. Doesn't he do that? You know, these are.
I literally saw in a Chinese home in my country that they worship Sai Baba, and then they were trying to convince me, see, come, look.
Oh, yeah,
This is for real. And I really saw this picture of him. It's just spilling this the white ashes, you know. And I was like shocked, but I wasn't 100% convinced.
There's a video where Prabhupada's in I think in Malaysia,
Mhm.
and or maybe it was Fiji, and that Vasudev, and so he's doing a program, and there's a huge picture of Sai Baba sort of reclining like this,
Mhm.
and he had that afro like Jimi Hendrix, you know.
That's Malaysia right there.
Yeah, and so he's lying like this, and Prabhupada didn't, they were handing him books, and he would just put them down like that. And they said they wanted him to stay and have prasadam with them. He spoke, he chanted with them, but then he said, Prabhupada has an urgent thing to do, and he didn't stay for prasadam. You know,
Can we go now?
can we go
Kept
now?
asking, can we go now?
Can we go now?
Can we go now? And I said, well, Prabhupada, they would like you to go in the next room and have prasadam.
And
Can we go now?
Can we go now?
It was,
He gave the mercy, but he didn't want to share it.
and he said, I took the blame, and Saba can do that. He says, I took the blame, they blamed me. And he said, that was fine with me. They weren't blaming Srila Prabhupada.
But Prabhupada said we go to give our association, not to take their association.
This is so important.
In Los Angeles, there's different groups, and they, Los Angeles, there's groups, and they're really Mayavadis. We go to the kirtan, and then prasadam, we would all take off.
Yeah.
Don't stay, take prasadam.
Yeah, you don't want to get contaminated. Wow, my bodies, I mean, that's serious stuff. Really, you can lose your spiritual life.
Yeah,
That's scary stuff.
stay for that.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
Oh, he's bringing pomegranates.
He's doing Kaizen. We'll do another.
Hey, Krishna.
Saved by the bell. I've got more time now. We're not going to do Prabhupada today, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay.
Not a good
I
day.
just forgot that he's doing that.
Alright, so Hare Krishna, glories to Prabhupada.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, glories to some of the devotees.